I'm from 239 Birchall Avenue in Highwood. It's kind of rough coming up and following those wonderful children. What a great example of what our community is. Full of life, full of energy, full of light. Last night at the tax meeting, I watched as Alderman Picaro, Murphy, Conman, and Hospodarski argued their positions either for or against raising the property tax 20%. Their arguments all had merit. For Alderman Picaro, he argued that you need to invest money in the community in order to make it thrive. He is absolutely correct. Alderman Hospodarski, Conman, and Murphy argued against the increase because information coming from the city administration was incomplete. There was a lack of a plan, budget, or any other tool that would help guide them to voting in the positive for the hefty 20% tax increase. They are correct as well. Alderman Bruni and Alderman Fiore have not been aldermen long enough to know all the intricacies of financing. As an example, Alderman Bruni said we would have no money for roads. He may not have understood that the motor fuel funds come into the city and can be used for roadways. Alderman Fiore made the same statement. There is a great deal to know and understand as an alderman, and I sincerely do not fault them at this stage in their aldermanic careers for not knowing everything. However, I do fault the mayor. He has served many years as an alderman. He claimed we won't have money to fix leaks if we do not raise the property tax 20%. Of course, fixing leaks should come out of the water fund. I also fault the mayor for not taking the time to explain to new aldermen that those funds exist for that purpose. I would normally blame a city administrator, but just like Alderman Bruni and Fiore, she doesn't have any experience either. Last night, when you decided after so little discussion that you would vote for a 9% tax increase, you never factored in for that now famous $300,000 home in Highwood that you have raised the taxes on that house $400 in the last 2 years. Last year, from property taxes alone, you raised approximately $350,000. From the additional half penny in sales tax, you raised close to another $350,000. You spoke last night about how employees should get raises. I wonder, outside of the city administrator, who else got a substantial raise out of the $750,000 increase into the city's coffers? You have done very little planning for Highwood's future. In fact, you have done very little to review the past, considering it is now December and you have yet to review the audit, the same audit that you are basing this tax increase on. You can't even tell me with any authority what you have raised, spent, or received because so many of you cannot get that information from administration. How do I know that? Because for the last year, I have witnessed countless promises of we will look into that. And I have followed up with not only my aldermen, but others. And all of you have said that you didn't know the task had not been completed. Last night's meeting was a perfect example of a mismanaged government. Out of the 3 most important people necessary to make a decision about city financing, only one was here. Your finance director, Nick Narducci, was not, and neither was your city treasurer. I cannot imagine Bill Lally or Lori Nyman being absent from a meeting like this. I cannot imagine a meeting to discuss raising taxes 20% being scheduled by the city administration or the mayor without the benefit of those 2 being present. More important than that, I cannot imagine sitting on a city council where members of the council would let that happen. Where are you to get your information if not from the experts? You had no experts at your meeting last night. Why are you allowing yourselves to be mismanaged? I spoke with many of you both before and after last night's meeting, and it is important to say this publicly. You have a fiduciary responsibility to this community, to your neighbors, and to yourselves to make sure the information you receive is accurate, well thought out, and complete. You are failing your responsibilities. You have not followed through. You have not asked and demanded information that you have a right to in order to accomplish your tasks as an alderman. Now, once again, you are going to the property owners of this community and hitting them up with another property tax increase. You can tell the quality of a man or a woman by the people they surround themselves with. This council has surrounded itself with inexperience. The result is that you are making this entire community look foolish. Last night, Alderman Picaro said he was tired of the response he got when he told people he was from Highwood. You have to ask yourself, if 3 years ago, Highwood was the hottest community on the North Shore, and it was, why isn't it today? I would answer that question by saying, while our income has increased, our standards have been lowered. You have the ability to change that. Keep the tax rate at a non-home rule level, pay the state level required for pensions, live within your means, and plan for this community's positive future. If there are members of this council or administration that do not expect excellence from this community, then it is time for you to move on. We have wasted enough time looking into it. It is time to take your responsibilities by the horn. You, as aldermen, have a right to any information you need to make decisions that help you govern. This is not a Nike commercial. You don't have to do it just to do it. You just have to do it right. Thank you.
Thank you.